My fault, I cheated. I had a relationship for 9 years. We got married a little over a year ago. Things were beautiful when we were together, but I had a secret I never could tell him. I lost my mother and came into my sexuality, gay, shortly before we met 9 years ago. I had compartmentalized everything that was tough and have always wanted to please people. I am trying to understand now and admit even made small lies when I was little. I cheated when we were apart at the beginning. I moved around a lot for my job. I don't know if it was needing comfort or part of me wondering if we would stay together, but I did. When I came home to him, things were so perfect together and I was selfish. I didn't tell him. There are details of things we worked through, but I will spare some. We stayed together but were essentially long distance for most of our relationship. We would see each other primarily on the weekends. It was absolutely beautiful together. I accepted every insecurity and imperfection he had. He was honest. We were long distance and I rationalized my sexual fantasies, and my love for him were different. I downloaded apps and cheated when we were apart. Probably 10 times. It was never emotional or romantic. I doubt anyone can ever believe me, but I know this truth. I always loved him and truly accepted every part. I lied because I had lied before and I rationalized why I did it. It built so far from my control. He asked and I lied. We would talk about others who went through infidelity and I sat there and only gave him reassurance. I would feel overwhelming guilty at times but knew it would shatter him, his world, and everything he believed in. So I tried to lock it up so far from my consciousness. We were in therapy together because I tried to tell a little of the truth. I texted someone. I promised myself I would never do it again and thought I could rebuild with therapy. We lived together for the past few months, which was supposed to be the start of us finally being together. I got drunk and horny and texted 2 people I know inappropriate things when I was gone a weekend for a wedding. He found the text messages and asked me. I admitted I had cheated. He left. In a letter I admitted everything with nothing to save any dignity. He read the letter. He called me to ask why I put the pain on him. I told him I had to be honest, that's all I can do now. He has since moved in with friends. He has a big support group. I do not. I recently moved across the country. About a week later he said that he is filing for divorce. He will live by his values. He was open even with insecurities and I held the secret from him. It's been a few weeks. Essentially no contact outside of a few logistical emails on divorce and lawyers. Everything has been disconnected from the life we built. All assets and properties and every photo album we shared. I turned his whole worldview to pieces. I'm lost. I've finally admitted everything myself and trying to really understand the reasons. I've been in therapy myself. Trying to reconcile how my actions were so far from my own values. How I could hurt the person I care about most. My best friend. How do I survive? Trying to admit that I am still a good person with the fact of what I did. Knowing how beautiful he is, understanding his values and the betrayal, and knowing he will never come back. Never talk to me again. I am trying to truly understand. I am so scared that I am the worst person in the world, a serial cheater, and I should feel the shame and guilt forever as my punishment. I will always love him. I've tried to hate anything but those were only the things I loved. I've admitted that I cannot not love him. And I know the only thing I can do to truly love him is to let him go. It's such a hard reality. Knowing I did this to myself. Knowing I did this to him. Knowing he is gone forever. Will block me and never talk to me again so he can rebuild a life that he thought he had. I am struggling so much now. I don't know where else to begin but to be honest. I am strong and know I need to work on myself, but even that feels contradictory to how selfish I was throughout our whole relationship. I don't know anything most of the time. I get so stuck in thoughts. I am a person who changes and is able to see through things, but even my world is so upside down. I don't know. Comment. Yeah, maybe cause you cheated? Wow, I know it must have been so hard for you to deal with all those consequences. Grow the nobody gives a about what you are feeling, cause you are the POS who didn't have a problem in a relationship except for the man-child who thought he could get anything without any consequences, and when they finally got to you, you cry about like a child. Wah wah, you. Well, I'm not a therapist, but I can give it a shot. It's called man-child syndrome. Some would even call it a cake eater. You want your own cake while also eating other people's cake. You're that brat who asks why not pick both, when they get presented 2 options, but it seems like you around and then found out literally. Well, apparently they were not that far away. I have no idea what you're trying to convince yourself. You liked it and you damn well you would have continued to do it if he hadn't found those messages. You are one delusional person. The cheating part seems kinda like a big deal, but maybe you just forgot about his birthday. Good luck next. Yeah, oh yeah, you broke up cause you cheated. Well, you're not a good person, so no reason wasting that. Not saying you can't grow from it, but the smell don't vanish at once, it gradually fades away. So maybe say to yourself, I'm a POS who wants everything, but maybe I should grow up and be a responsible adult who can prioritize, so that I don't cry when I'm faced with the consequences of my actions and then try to hide, but when people ask about you history, don't hide it. You better tell them or you will still be that big fat smelly turd that just ruins it for everyone else while you can act like the pathetic childish garbage you are right now. Fix yourself. How inspiring. Sorry to say you are not that deep. Your entire situation can be summed up to man-child is horny around and finds out, and then cries about it. Funny enough, you say that you see through things. Apparently you didn't see how this would end. Now you are single and apparently feeling guilt. Next story 2. I'm a nail tech who helped a client get back at her cheating husband. I'm a nail tech and I usually post my work on my Instagram page to show new clients or possible clients my work. One day I had a client come in and I've changed her name to Nancy. Nancy was a regular. She's someone I'd see at least every month for a fill or a set in general. She was usually loud and outgoing, but this time she came in and I didn't get that energy at all. She sat down and showed me a picture. The picture was of a blue long set that I had done almost at least 5 days ago. She told me straight up that that's exactly what she wanted, down to the shape, length, charms, all of it. I was confused cause I know she would usually get freestyles, so I asked her what's up. That's when went downhill. She started to tell me about how she'd seen this exact set in a video on her husband's phone and that she was the woman her husband had been sleeping with. She'd tried waiting for her husband to confess, but he didn't cave. Recently, he'd been complaining about her hands or how ugly her nail sets were and how she should have been doing them. And each inspo pic he showed her was of one of the same sets I'd done on the other woman. So she decided to get the exact same nails for however long her husband didn't get rid of the affair, just to drive him insane because he couldn't fathom not knowing what's going on. In my mind I was screaming. I ended up doing the exact same set on Nancy. I continued to do the other client's nails as well, and whenever she would come in for a new set I'd shoot Nancy a text to come in as well. Her husband began to catch on to the women having the same nails. It got to the point where he was so nervous around Nancy knowing that she definitely knew. Her husband ended up confronting her about it and he ended his affair with the other woman. They ended up divorcing as well, as the process is still going on. But the funniest part about it all is that, the day Nancy's husband asked her out to dinner so they could talk, she booked a session with me for a fill-in. She brought in their wedding vows that were each written on small cards that were read at their wedding and asked me to encapsulate the vows onto the nails. This was the craziest set I've ever done and by far the funniest revenge ever. I ended up doing her nails and she went out to dinner with her husband along with the divorce papers. As far as the other woman, I completely stopped servicing her because my policy doesn't allow whores. She was very much aware of Nancy as well as the marriage. Comment. You're an amazing person to do that for her. You're great. I wish more people would have each other's backs like you and Nancy. Love the way you supported her. Love that you did that for her. You're a hero. I love and wish you were my friend. Gold. Next story 3. Aftermath and story of my GF cheating on me. Hey y'all, I'm 16, I hope y'all don't think I'm stupid or anything. I was dating my ex, also 16, from my freshman year to the start of my junior year. She was nice to me in the beginning, very kind, very caring. I met her family, we shared dreams, interests, we tried our best to support one another. I know it's stupid but I really loved her. I even thought about marrying her after we got a year in. Towards the beginning of 2023, her attitude shifted heavily towards me. We fought more, I fell into a depression, she'd call me names and insult me whenever she was frustrated with her life, she'd threaten to leave me over petty shit. Worst was when she lied to me, it eventually turned into her lying about everything. She got paranoid, trying to catch me cheating by having her friends text me lewd messages. It got weird. In June, one male friend of hers tells me she's cheating on me. It's happened before, so I didn't pay it much mind. Well, let's cut to July. My birthday was this month and I had a bunch of plans for us to do. I was super excited. I had money, I had freedom, I took her out to my family's ranch and we cooked together, Food is my love language. We went to the movies together, we stargazed, I took her to my favorite places around where I lived. But most of the time she wasn't really there with me, she was either on her phone or was just absent, I guess? Like she was there in person but not with her mind, I guess, I don't know. On my birthday, she spent most of her time on her phone. I was kinda crestfallen but I wrote it off. Once I get home, another one of her friends texts me, and it's just pages and pages of her flirting with and sexting another guy. God, I was fucking wrecked. 2 years of our relationship meant nothing to her? I confront her and she just claims it's nothing, that she loves me, and that she still wants to be with me. I take a few days to myself and just decide to continue with the relationship. I know, it was stupid of me. The entire rest of the summer she's very dismissive of me, and she acts like she just doesn't want me around. I'm pretty much just broken at this point. Some other things happened in my life and it really ruined my mental state. This is the point where she starts to abuse me. Hitting me, punching me, choking me, digging her nails into my arms, taking all her anger out on me. This is where I really fucked up. I still tried making it work. I stay for another month, and it gets worse. Her paranoia is at an all-time high. She cusses me out if I try hanging out with my female friends. It gets to the point where she's stalking my location pretty much full time. August 20th was my breaking point. Her cheating bud sends me screenshots of her trying to hook up with him, screenshots of her shit-talking me, and screenshots of her doxing me. I end up calling her and we have a screaming match, ending up with me telling her mom everything. My ex has never contacted me again. It's been a month and I'm doing a lot better. My ex fucked me up mentally and physically. I've gotten more social and I'm actually talking to someone else now. In the end, I'm glad she was a POS, I'm doing a lot better without her. Comment. Now you understand female nature. Hits too close to home, feels like life's not right without them but with them it's hell. Can't tell which is worse. Why didn't you end it with her when she started in 2023 as you had stated? Why out up with the abuse? Then here she's been cheating on you. Why didn't you just end it then? I thought it was just like an emotional phase. Some things were happening in her life and I was hoping I could help her through them.